let's start with. I had no plans to do this street, but since I'm here, that's Ushaka Marine World. Okay, this is how this street begins. Devon Transport and all. I'm gonna take some let's say point. So I came here because of this issue here at Addington Primary. I was too late. I forgot to go to the parents. We're coming to meet the principal today via March and March. So just now I had people next to my flat stating Guti Addington, and then I came rushing. Obviously I am very late basically. All right. So these are the areas basically. Remember, the systems of replacing black South Africans include reserving space for foreigners, even in terms of lodging. When you buy, I picked this up in the year 2022 and I spoke about it. But when I'm trying to buy like a flat in Durban, I am noticing that these property companies are intentionally not responding to me or delaying me, and I am noting this has got to do with the fact that I'm a black South African. So I spoke about that, and then nobody took interest in it at that stage, because I was indicating okay, there's a project which is intentional to replace, which is supposed to be a genocide, black South Africans. Alright, this is a very beautiful street in South Beach basically, so we'll just do this area once and for all, and this whole road. It was not my plans for today, so when we think it I had no plans to come out today of the flat, but here I am because of wanting to come and see what was happening here in Addington. Too late, we'll figure late. Alright, elderly people stay in that corner there. And then these are the other apartment blocks. Who is doing this? It is the Zulus in the eThekwini municipality. And then whose instruction? Basically, it is Cyril Ramaphosa's instruction as per the requirements of the New World Order, which the DA is actually orchestrating. So hence you find Muslim Indians are exactly in the DA, because remember, white liberals international, they always partner with Muslims in orchestrating this thing of New World Order to create borderless countries and the likes, which is what is happening in the USA. The USA is blessed because Trump has arisen, but in South Africa the problem is we were made to be divided into political organizations and fail to appreciate political organization to save our country or to save our nation. It's like, imagine MP and then because inkatha ithe ngayempini mina ngiyempini because ANC ithe ngayempini kuzola kuphela ilentoza ini action SA ngasikhathi country yahamba. What level of foolishness has actually black South Africans become because of political organizations, where you are willing, because you are willing to let your country go for a political organization instead of uniting in purpose, because your country is being taken in your face and basically fighting to defend your country. You then have a second country. All these people have got second countries. They are here for selfish interests. They are not here to love black South Africans. They are not here to unite any Africa. They are here to work for themselves, make as much money as they can. And if it means replacing black South Africans with pleasure, they are doing it. Exactly, it is they who have always, the black Nigerians, who have been pumping black South Africans with drugs in their love. It is exactly Mozambican Frelimo who are also on the streets as working with all those wicked people that we know about, whose names are protected by laws of South Africa that we do not mention their names. After all, what can we do? Because we don't have financial power to defend our truths, because there is no truth in South Africa. There is money. The poor have got no justice. Even if when you go to these useless so-called legal insurance companies, it's a waste of time. They are just milking black South Africans and offering zero services. The law is owned by the white DA and by the, alright, it is the white DA which owns this law. That is why they are defending their Cyril Ramaphosa with all their might, because he's the one who actually, with their Rolf Mayer, basically put together this constitution from Europe, which was exactly designed to ensure that white people own the country, whilst blacks were being given pseudo freedom, fake freedom, basically, which was basically nothing but just to feel like you own the country by having power to vote, which you actually do not have, because votes are actually still decided by white capital. So they basically were fooling black South Africans under this pressure. Ukuthi black South Africans are rising, so therefore they basically designed in Europe a system to deceive black South Africans into believing that we are getting freedom by giving us a vote. There is no freedom without financial power. There is no freedom without financial power. Freedom is the freedom of the economy, self-determination in your money, the ability to trade with other countries or with other people without draconian so-called capitalist laws of good governance. They are not about good governance. They are about the preservation of the power of white people in owning and controlling countries as minorities, therefore enshrined in the so-called minority rights, which have got nothing to do with black South Africans or majorities, but everything to do with subjugating majorities under the minorities who are pillaging and looting their countries. And now these people are defended exactly by Julius Malema. They are defended exactly. He's playing black socialists for after all, to be emotional is to be foolish. So he's playing them, making as though he's fighting with white people. In any case, who sent him to fight with white people per se? We're fighting with a system, whether it is presided over by white people or whether it is presided over by Nigerians, whether it is presided over by Somalians, whether it is presided over by blacks against blacks. We are fighting with a system that has always created a system where the elites control the majorities, sitting in their castles and then instigating uprisings and all the things on lower levels, and through all these things the elites make money, a lot of money. So are elites capitalists? No, they are not. They're not capitalists. They're people who have decided to be absolute monarchies of the world towards the Antichrist 666 system. That's what they are. Our monarchs in Africa were far more democratic than the white elites. They create even diseases to control. Those are things that they do. All right. Yeah, my tours are different. They speak South Africa's politics, the situations that we're going through, as orchestrated by white DA liberals working together with Muslim Indians. If you are saying I'm not accountable, still blaming whites for evils that are done by our governments, listen here and listen carefully. Black South Africans did not even vote for the ANC in 2024. It is white people of the DA who have ensured that the ANC continues to be in power. Blacks did not vote for the ANC in majority. The whites who promoted the ANC towards 1994 ensured that they hold their ANC children by hand, so that they basically keep them in charge of the country, with the advantage now of a desperate ANC which has got no power, full of egotistical tigers with big tummies, who basically would then be seeking to salvage their statuses as rulers of the country, and the finance and the monies of bribery that they receive, because we've always known this. You can look at it in the private sector. In the private sector, they always bribe COSATU shop stewards. The same strategy is used also in politics. They basically just hold these political idiots and give them money, and then they get billionaire, and the rest is history. White people are in charge. Indian Muslims are in charge. That's all. So yes, there's rivalry between Muslim Indians and white people, but for now they've got a common agenda which is black South Africans. Look at there. You can see Masegugwala ama foreigner. Look at that. Sekugcwala ke ama foreigner. Leli flat wangathi bal renovate bona la seceleni kwawo ukuthi mahle kanjani. Those ones are beautiful, but once it arrives here you can see from at the bottom ukuthi suke sekugcwala ama foreign. This was a well loved but in hotel whose name I've forgotten. It's a South Beach. This quick spa is where I buy most of sometimes, not most of the time, sometimes. Bathengisa ukudla okuhle kanjani? Bathengisa ukudla okuhle. All right. So mawula South Beach, I recommend this quick spa ukuthi uthenge la ka quick spa. And then igama lomgaqo leyaguquka maselifika la soku Gillespie kade samba, I think lapha emuva la kade ngikhuluma ipolitiki eningi kade samba ku Prince, I think it's called Prince Street. So mase sifika ngala sokuba seku Gillespie. We can't have these territories ruled by foreigners. No. Akuvuka ushaka uzodila nabadayisi bezwe. Oh. And Zulu people must remember ukuthi impi akusisi isono kuya ngokuthi ulwelana. We got indoctrinated with lies to feel as though you are a sinner when you are fighting for what is yours. Abefundisi bakholelwa ekutheni ma umuntu ekushaya kwesaka right bamnikeza u-left. Nami ngiyakholelwa kulokho in the context of what was being said about it, because mangafika kwamfundisi even nasesontweni akufika abantu bazoqhwaga isonto abazalana ngeke baze baphume ukuthi hayi sebefikile ke bathi siphume esontweni lethu asibanikeze. Nothing like that will happen. So our country is being taken, and therefore we've got to defend it. That's basically the story. No debate whatsoever with that regard. That is basically the duty of men, to defend and protect. That's the duty and the role that we're given by God, basically. Oguti, we've got to provide, we've got to defend, we've got to protect. So kuloku kushiwo ukuthi omama abalwayo abalwela izwe. Okay, here's Impala holiday flats. All right, that's where our elderly usually book from Johannesburg when they come to Durban. All right, and then unfortunately the surrounds thereof have become a mini Lagos, but you are visiting Durban. Intentionally, body corporates of these flats are the ones which decide which businesses they allow. All right, so for instance, a body corporate of this apartment block would have decided to give this space to foreigners intentionally. So some of the people that we need to deal with are body corporations behind this that is happening, and especially with Muslim Indians who are basically buying all these flats, replacing white people in these flats. And when they replace white people, it is exactly they who bring floods of foreigners intentionally. Apparently it's a sin to talk about evils that are done by genocidal maniacs called Indians against the Zulus and against black South Africans. Manlema, by the way, all his slums of foreigners are always next to Indian areas. It's clear cut. Malema is the human trafficker supplying Malawian and black African slaves to Muslims and Indians. They never say a word against atrocities done by Saudi Arabia and all Arabs and Muslims against black Africans. They never. They are even denying the black Christian genocide that has happened for years in Nigeria. We saw people's throats being sliced, and YouTube rushed to basically conceal those videos because they were not appropriate for their white liberal agenda. We saw that by 2018 we had seen those videos as our Christian black brothers were being slaughtered. When al-Bashir slaughtered our blacks, it is the same ANC which protected al-Bashir, who murdered more than 500,000 blacks. Al-Bashir was a Muslim, Arab. We're in this space. And then what I am also deducing in everything that is happening, these guys who are supposed to be guarding taxis or monitoring them as though marshals, they're part of the scheme. They are in the pay, they're being paid by Nigerians. Listen, there is no way Zulu taxi operators are on the streets and then right next to them you've got Nigerians. No. Then it means those people are in cahoots with those people. They're in their payroll. We brought Nigerians to sit there all day long. We are short of people who can sit at our street corners. Huh? The Constitution says bring people who need streets to sit upon for the whole day. Bring them to South Africa. The so-called Freedom Charter, which was never written by black South Africans. And actually in that meeting, there was a forgery in broad daylight. And you can see right there, white liberals were already involved. Because remember, the New World Order plan is not a new thing. It was exactly there, even in the 1950s, Bretton Woods conferences and all the stuff. So now the question now is, in South Africa, which blacks did they then choose who would basically do their bidding in terms of implementing their ideals of the Bretton Woods New World Order ideals? So this is where you've got basically who? You've got your Mandelas and them who actually would have been selected to deceive the revolution of black South Africans against apartheid and steal it for the New World Order intentions. Because at the end of the day, what is happening in this country of ours is social re-engineering, which we see in election results. Okay, in election results, and so forth, in this New World Order, we're seeing it in the USA being pumped with Muslims and foreign illegals to replace. The main target also there is black Americans. And they are the ones who are made to be at the lowest of the scale, which is basically the same intentions as here, because the New World Order seems to have the agenda to make the black race to be the least. It seems to be premised on white and Jewish people at the top, followed by the Indians or the Asians as the next level, so let's call them foremen or supervisors, and then below are black slaves. That's how it appears. That's what it always seems to produce. West Street, na lapho eshintsha khona amabhasi masigibela amanye amabhasi. Alright, this is Gillespie. I was on Gillespie, and then kuse uyena Gillespie and then up to the library, Palmerston Hotel. Alright. Okay, that's Palmerston, Hotel Palmerston. I'm not going to North Beach, namhlanje. I don't have the time to go to North Beach. And then these are areas again where you find a lot of black illegal immigrants. Almost, if you look, that's a lengthy area for which I'm still speaking about businesses and areas being occupied by black foreigners. So this is orchestrated by the municipality and then under the instruction of the government that is in charge, intentionally to replace or make us to just be a nation of consumers, or black people who are just consumers dependent on foreigners for business. Imagine your food, the food that you eat, is controlled by a foreigner. Come on, black South Africans, come on, Zulus. Our shops can't be controlled by foreigners. It's a stratagem of war. All it means is this: if we are now dependent on foreigners for food distribution, they have won the war. All they need to do is to shut down shops, and then South Africans starve and die. That's all. And you don't see these things. Hey guys, I now detest Ubuntu. I used to be proud ukuthi abantu, but Ubuntu mangabe bukwenza ukuthi ulahleke udayise ngezwe lakho. Be welcoming to people who are in your country to destroy you. Then stuff Ubuntu benu. Then I detest Ubuntu and whatever it stands for. Ngoba Ubuntu thithibalisa amakhosi, thithibalisa induna. Abantu bangene kwidolobha lakho balithathe. Uyahlonipha. Inhlonipho yini? Ukuthi uthathelwe izwe. Hayi suka. Hayi. At this I close the video. Ama-taxi ke aqhubeka ashonele namabhasi ayele sobuye sibuke masenza ngizoyiphuma kanjalo as mangenza iNorth Beach. Kusho mangenza iNorth Beach ngizovela ngiqale la vele kuqala iNorth Beach because iNorth Beach siqala ngapha lentos beachfront, because nayi beachfront nayi the Edward Hotel iBalmoral hlala izalukwazi zabelungu, the Park View Hotel kwakune Thatcher's restaurant la. Oh nice, abhaliwe Thatcher's. Alright, so this was supposed to be a conservative English area. Conservative English were supposed to be friends of the IFP, but you know what? People are white. Thank you.